to a young actor entering the industry, I would say read about something and research other stuff that's got nothing to do with like that's creative, that's within the world that you do, but it's not acting. So for me, it would be writing. Like when I started to read about script writing and about storytelling and about all of those things, that's actually when my acting became better, because then I started to look at things in terms of going, right, what does this script and what does this story require from me as the actor? Where do I fit into that, and how do I help them tell the best story? And then you start to understand it, because then, like, I'm now in a sort of realm where I'm trying to understand editing a little bit better. And that's opened my eyes in terms of like, oh, right, okay, I can see how, like, and like I was on set with a very, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, so I'm not going to, but I was on set with a very experienced actor recently who I greatly admire, like, absolutely amazing actor. But watching him sort of do this thing where he did his stuff in like one take, and it was this really long scene. And the rest, like, I've seen people kind of do this thing where it's just like, oh, I like to get the flow of a scene and stuff like that. This guy would just like, he would deliver a line and go, no, he'd go back a bit, and he'd like, he'd start again, and he'd find the journey of it there. And he'd just like, it was almost like he was self-editing. And it was like, it was this fascinating thing to watch, because I was like, oh my God, because it didn't diminish the lines at all. And it was his take, so he was like, he can do whatever he wants with it. But it was immense to watch, and you're just watching someone who's like at the top of their game, just kind of going, no, I don't like that. I want to do it like this, and like, finding a way in, but like always thinking about what is best for the story and what is best to actually tell that story. Because I think that we sometimes forget that that's our job, is to serve the story, is not like, not the other way around. So I think for me, like read about things that are within the world, but not necessarily just to do with acting. Because then like, you don't know how that's actually gonna help you with the profession that you love. Yeah, I think that would be my advice. My other advice would be chill the fuck out.
I would say, if you truly, truly, truly love acting, don't give up. Which now sounds simple, but I mean, don't give up in 6 months. Don't give up in a year. Don't give up in 2 years. Keep going. If it's truly, truly what your heart desires, what your dream is, just because you haven't booked in 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, doesn't mean you won't. Like, if you truly, truly want it that bad, just don't give up. Do not give up. Just keep going, and know that if you put the work in and you keep championing yourself, that one audition could change your life. So just keep going.
There's nothing more noble than pursuing your dream and believing in yourself.
Absolutely. We get one life. We might as well try and do something that we dream, and it's worth it. It's amazing.
The reason why I'm struggling with this is because I've given a lot of advice to young actors, and the reason why I'm struggling is because for every actor the advice is different, because we're all human beings and we all need something different at different times in our lives. I think you've got to remember to do this job for you. If you're doing it because you set out on the path and you told everyone you were doing it, but now you no longer want to do it, it's not right. You've got to be in it for you and nobody else, only for you. And if you can go to bed at night feeling heartbroken, disappointed, rejected, all of those things, but still say, yes, but I know this is all I want to do, then you're in the right game.
Hello, we hope you're enjoying today's episode of the Actors Actuality podcast. We just want to take a quick moment to talk to you about the Actors Actuality newsletter.
The Actors Actuality newsletter comes out twice a week, Monday and Friday. Subscribe below.
As you can tell from this chat, I'm not a one-sentence guy, but I'll do my best. One-sentence advice for a young actor. Keep learning, or be open to keep learning. Because every job you go on, you learn something new. Whether that's a director, a fellow cast member, a creative, the process, the audience, the theatre, you're going to learn something new. And I don't think there's no such thing as a complete actor. Like you never finish learning, you never finish your training. Now that could be literally go and do some courses. I'm not saying just stage combat. I mean, by all means do, but do other things too. But yeah, keep learning, keep being open to learn something new. Because you never know who you're going to learn something from. And it might be a passing comment in the corridor made by someone who works at the theatre, or it might be a note given to my director, or it might be watching another actor on the stage. I'm blessed in this production I'm working at the moment. I'm working with some fantastic actors and some terrible ones. You just never know. You might see something and go, I love that. What is that? Why have they done that? Why have they made that choice? And you never know when it's going to become applicable for your own career, your own, your next project, whatever it might be.
We're taking a quick pause from today's episode to talk about our collaborators for this season, Actor and their Pay What You Can scheme.
Actor have kindly given us a special Actors Actuality exclusive link for you guys to increase your chance of being selected for their Pay What You Can scheme. Whether you're looking for headshots, voice, song, or monologue reel, Actors Pay What You Can initiative means you'll get the same quality and care as a full price reel, but for a price that you can afford.
Of course, the Pay What You Can scheme is very popular, so by using our link, you'll be being referred by us, giving yourself an increased chance of being selected for the scheme, plus you'll be giving us a bit of a kickback, which always helps.
I actually got my first ever headshots with Actor back in 2021 when I was a young boy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's it, to be honest. That's all I had to say. Check out their link in the description. It's a great initiative.
Oh, do it. No, I don't joke it. I would say this though, not to be negative. So let's say I'm going to introduce. What will I say? How will I say it as a sentence? Yeah, I've heard it before. Who says it? Tell me if you've heard it, you two. If there's something else that you can do, do it. If this is the only thing you could ever do, then welcome to acting.
I don't know who says
How's
it. That's solid.
I've heard that and I don't know who says it, but it's gonna bug me now.
Yeah, I kind of changed it up at the end a little bit because I couldn't remember exactly how it was.
Yeah.
But I think it is, and I actually think I've always been aware of that. There was someone before I went to acting school, and I remember it was like we were all teenagers and we're kind of, having our first drinking experiences or whatever, and we're around a campfire, and they got emotional, and they were like, I think I should go to acting school, but I don't know if I can do it. And it wasn't about it was about the life of being an actor or whatever. And I remember, because we were all drunk, so I probably would have been more tactile, but I remember kind of saying to the person, I was like, honestly, if you think you're not sure about doing it now, I don't know if it is the right thing for you. And I didn't do it. It wasn't because of that, but they probably knew in themselves that it wasn't the career for them. And that's absolutely fine, because you spend so much of your career doing other things or thinking, how can I make someone notice me, especially in this world? I had a taste of, just before the COVID era, I had a taste of the going in and doing all the auditions in person. For theatre, sometimes you still do, but a lot of times self-tape still. So you spend a lot of time, you've got four walls around you, completely by yourself, thinking, how do I make someone notice me? Aha, an email. So, if there is something else that's kind of just kind of biting away, going as an idea, do this instead,
go follow that. As in, if you're really uncomfortable with the acting, I'm not saying, because look, we're all human. I mean, I even think I've worked in a school for a lot of the time as my day job, and I'm even thinking myself, I probably will train, because now it's great. If you've got a degree, you can go and train to become a teacher, because they kind of want more educators, right? So I could do a year where I'm getting paid for the year and become a teacher at the end of it. How brilliant to have that behind me, and be a trained teacher. But I'm thinking in the framework of what can I do to set things up so a bit more comfortable, but so I have longevity. And I think that's a difference. It's the way your mind's going. How are you thinking, how can I make a lifelong career out of this and accept that this might be what I'm doing for the rest of my life, hustling for jobs, not getting all the choices I would like. And the difference between someone who's going, I really want to be an actor, and I do. It's the most favourite thing I've ever done in my life. However, I just want to be able to buy a bigger telly. If you got that mind and you haven't got that just burning desire, well, I would say you're probably going to end up stepping away from it at around my age. It's really interesting, my kind of age, because people start getting aware. I'm 28, right? You start becoming aware of your 30s. It's just there. And I always got told it, but I never knew that it would happen. But suddenly, just with the numbers going up, you go, right. And you see everyone as well get their lives together, having a kid, having a family, having another kid, house, bought, all that kind of stuff. And you're naturally going to have moments where you go, right, yeah, that I wish I had that life. But the reason I've chosen this life is because there was nothing else on this earth that I felt could make me this happy. Now, that could change. I could end up doing something completely different. And that's fine, because we're all human and we all change all through our lives. But I do think it's advice worth thinking about, because I've had people that in my life that went and trained and spent all that money and did a year and gave up. I'm not saying like completely stepped away from creative work. But then I also know people that have, at this age, lots and lots of people that are going, I've done it and it's really hard and I'm actually just ready to do something else. And I think, brilliant. I think that's so brave, because I think a lot of people don't step away from acting for about 5 years or so, let's say, because they're so worried about what everyone's going to think. You're a failure, all that kind of stuff. No, if a person steps away from what they set out to do, that's such a brave thing to do. That's such a brave thing to do, because you've clearly gone through all those conversations in your head of, this was what I envisioned my life as, but it hasn't turned out quite like that. And now there's something else that I maybe care about more, whether that's starting a family or wanting a little business. That's so important. I mean, it's circle of life kind of stuff, because honestly, when this is a big thing that you kind of start getting excited for at my age, you go, oh, well, so that means the pool of actors is getting smaller a bit at my kind of age. Because there's no doubt in the world, you guys compete and you're in the biggest pool right now. You go out, all the graduates, you're exciting, so well done. But there's all the graduates, and eventually, over time, and that's going to change, you know? You also might go into a different creative role, like a director, or work with casting directors or agents. But yeah, the pool gets smaller. And then suddenly I know these brilliant people that are, this man who's in his 50s, who now is sort of coming back at it with acting and booking all these brilliant jobs, because there are a lot of, like, if you can think of famous actors, let's say from the UK, that are in their 50s and 60s, white haired or whatever, you can think of them in your mind, and there's probably like 5 that will come up straight away, and they're really famous, so they're booked up for all these jobs. So then in comes, let's give him a random name, Derek, and Derek comes up and sweeps everything else, because there aren't many Dereks around, because the rest of the Dereks all went off and did another job. So there's something to be said for that. Yeah. You got my sentence, though, didn't you, when I first said it?
Yeah, no, you did, yeah.
Yeah.
That was all great.
And the rest of it, that can just be for you two. It's fine.
Nothing is beneath you. There is no job too small, and there is no job too big. The Fringe being an example of it.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Actors Actuality podcast. You can find all our important links in the description below,
such as Instagram, website, and the all-important affiliate Pay What You Can actor link.